the final game of the evening, the nightcap, 8 o'clock in Columbus, Ohio, in the Shoe, where Tennessee fans are trying to take over and checker the stadium. We posted Mr. Allen here posted a TikTok about that, or a short form, because it's done well on Instagram and TikTok. So if you're there from either of those videos, welcome. You can hear all of our thoughts here. But obviously Tennessee trying to travel well into the Shoe. Tennessee not playing in their conference neither of these teams playing in their conference championship games. Two lost teams that didn't make an appearance but made the playoffs. So obviously Ohio State missing out on the Big Ten championship because of that loss against Michigan at home. And then Tennessee kind of just had a stroke of bad luck with everything that happened at the end of the season in the SEC. So
looking back on it, you think Ryan Day lost to Michigan on purpose?
He was ducking Oregon.
He's playing chess.
Where's my tinfoil hat, honey?
We had a similar video about that, I think, earlier in the season, about Penn State losing on purpose or something.
We did.
And they still got roped into playing in the Big Ten title.
I know.
They did, yeah. They couldn't escape it. So, however, it's interesting. I know Paul Feinbaum call for Ryan Day to be fired on the field if he lost this game?
There have been multiple people calling for that, both Ohio State fans and analysts on all the major networks. It's out there. It's out there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I see the argument. I really do. Because especially this, like, Ohio State's always had one of the most talented teams in college football, like for the past decade, it feels like. But now this year, they have the most talented team in college football.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coming out of high school, coming into college, they have the most talented football team ever assembled in college football history.
Yeah.
Now from college to the NFL, you have your LSUs, your Miamis, your Georgias, so on and so forth. But anyway, from a recruiting perspective, this is the best team ever assembled. And on top of that, he has lost to Oregon, he has lost to Michigan, and in the past, he has also lost key matchups to Georgia and key matchups to Michigan abundantly. I mean, it's crazy because I still think he has a single-digit number in the loss column in his time at Ohio State. But
only one loss to an unranked opponent, and it happened in the last game they played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's another problem is, like, they've had a lot of time to sit on that loss.
Yeah. Okay, his overall record 66-10 as a head coach.
Yeah, so I mean,
he's
almost single. Yeah, he was there for a while. So I mean, obviously not a bad coach. And then obviously, Paul Feinbaum and everybody, it's probably a little exaggerated. I will say, if there was a time to fire him on the field, it was after that Michigan game, rather than losing in the playoff against Tennessee. But
let's just say hypothetically they get boat raced.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
I think you let him go home, and then you call him into the AD's office the next morning. I think
you let him go home.
I don't think you fire him on the spot unless Tennessee puts up like 75, and then you don't score.
Well, what if Urban's in the building, right? Like, do you fire him?
You let Urban fire him, actually. Yeah, I was gonna say, let him have the honors. But
hey, kid, you're welcome. But what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'd
love that.
Have
y'all seen that meme?
Analysts down in Athens.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Head on over. I'm just gonna give y'all. Have y'all seen that meme where if they made that video of Urban Meyer handing over the video game controller to Ryan Day as like the coach transition, and it cuts to a clip of like some game where a bus is being driven off a cliff.
Yes.
I think that's pretty indicative of his tenure. I mean, look, obviously it's a little exaggerated. He's not a bad head coach. His record is not bad. However, it's just the big moments. I mean, and then dropping that many games to Michigan is inexcusable with a team like that. Drew, like you were saying, on paper, the best team ever assembled, at least, ratings wise for recruits and stuff like that. I mean, coming into the season, I remember having the conversations of, on paper, this Ohio State team should boat race every single team that they play.
Yep.
And they haven't. I feel like they're kind of a bit like, who was it? Was it Penn State? I think they play down to their competition. I think they maybe let the pace of play of the other team dictate how they're playing. And I think a big thing to keep an eye on here is Tennessee's rushing game, because Michigan came out and rushed for 172 yards against Ohio State in the game. Yeah. And Dylan Sampson is one of the better running backs in the entire country, and they lean on him in that offense. And if they can get him going, I think Ohio State's in trouble.
And that Tennessee, Jesus, that Tennessee pass rush ain't no joke.
That's true.
So, I don't know. It'll be very interesting. But like, also, again, drawing the parallels, just let everybody know we are not completely shitting on Ryan Day. We would be saying the exact same thing about Kirby if Kirby didn't have 2 rings on his record, right?
True.
Like, that'd be very similar situations. Multiple SEC championships, multiple New Year's Six bowl games, no natties. We would be having the same argument. Great coach.
I mean,
great coach. Just
we were having the same argument a decade
ago.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ricks, multiple SEC champions. No
multiple
natties.
back-to-back 10-win seasons, multiple Sugar Bowls, like everything that you could ever want out of a coach from the 1970s. Right? Like,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously success is good, but if you don't reach the mountaintop, or at least, continue to progress towards that goal, I mean, teams are getting impatient nowadays, especially in a program like Ohio State, where they have a very high expectation out of their football team, and they have for a long time. And I mean, we're coming up on it's been a decade since they won one. They won 2014, the inaugural 4-team playoff season. So it's been a while for them, and I think they're feeling that. And I think Ryan Day knows that.
Ryan Day did not win that.
That's true.
No.
He was on staff, right?
He was on staff. Yeah, he was a coordinator.
I think it just goes to show the amount. I think what it partially has to do with like the commercialization of college football, like where it's going. It's getting to be a lot more like the NFL, especially with the marquee programs. The waiting time for a coach to prove himself worthy, like on the CFP scale, like we see it with the NFL. It's like, okay, if you're not making the playoffs in your second season, what are we doing here? It's just we're getting to that
I
point.
can see that,
and especially with a fan base and a school like Ohio State, where storied history. We could throw Tennessee there too. They're getting to that point. They're year 3 under Heupel, year 4, something like that.
I think is at least 4.
I think 4.
He's been there for a while.
Yeah. But but they're ascending. Like, they're making progress.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I was saying, is you have to keep progressing toward it.
Right.
Obviously,
meaningful game in December since Peyton Manning was the quarterback. Like,
true.
That's valid. So, I mean,
speaking of, last time Tennessee and Ohio State played, when was it?
Oh, I saw this today. I think I have that answer.
Okay. Well,
I have no.
I saw that.
I don't even know. I don't know ball, guys. I don't know. I don't have the matchup. Oh shit. I'm gonna go. It's got to be sometime in the 90s. I'm gonna go like 94.
You are close. So close. January 1st, 1996. The 1995 season, technically. This was obviously in a bowl game.
Yeah.
I don't know what bowl it was, because it just says Ohio State was the home team. Was it the Citrus Bowl? The Citrus Bowl would make sense.
Yeah, Citrus Bowl.
Yeah. But yes, the score was 20-14 in favor of Tennessee. So quality. Yeah, that's right. Tennessee going into the shoe, winning by 7. But yeah, it like, again, they've only played once in the history of the schools, and 2 powerhouses of the college football world. Another example of why the playoff is a good thing.
Yeah.
But
No, I
yes.
mean it's good for the sport, and it's
Yep.
a great matchup. I think two teams in different spots being where they are. Obviously, Tennessee probably thrilled to be where they are. On the up and up. First year making the playoff. Ohio State a bit disappointed, licking their wounds after losing to their biggest rival to be knocked out of the conference championship and knocked out of contention for that first round bye. So they're meeting on two different trajectories right now. I don't know, man. I kind of like Tennessee here. I can't lie to you. I think if they get the ground game going, it's wraps. I haven't been that impressed with Ohio State personally this season. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm still trying to talk myself into it, but I think this is going to be a very good game. What was it's a 7-point?
7.5.
7.5 point spread?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of messing with the Vols here.
I can't. Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to bring myself to the same thing.
I mean, genuinely, I'm curious if they take over that stadium or not. I mean, I don't think they're gonna take it over, but I think from what I've seen in our videos, there's gonna be a presence that's probably. I think they'll have the biggest presence of any away team in the first round.
Well, their pre-sale code got leaked. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the season ticket holder pre-sale code got leaked.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then Noah, I'm pretty sure you made a video on this. Like there were literally people photoshopping themselves
Trojan horsing their way into
buying
Ohio State tickets.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if a quarter of that stadium was wearing orange. Now, I don't think there's going to be anywhere near enough to actually check report it. Listen, guys, if any of y'all are here from the short form, that was 100% clickbait. But it would be hilarious if it happened. Yeah. Listen, hey, respect the grind. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We're trying to build a community here. The amount of dopamine that enters my system every time we get a comment or a like is unhealthy at this point. But yes, I think this game would be very interesting because Brandon, like you said, very hot and cold Ohio State team.
Yeah.
Very hot and cold because they'll come out and they'll put 52, 56, 49, 38, 35 up for their first, couple of games of the season, and they still put up 31 in Eugene. And then they'll turn around and only beat Nebraska by 4, only beat Penn State by 7, only lose to Michigan by 3. I don't know. It's very interesting because I have a hard time getting a read on this Ohio State team. And then Tennessee, beat Vanderbilt by 13, kicked the living crap out of UTEP. Obviously lost to Georgia, but that was in Athens. I genuinely think there might be more Tennessee fans in Ohio than there were in Athens that day.
They came out swinging in that game, though. I mean, they Tennessee went up 10 points. Obviously Georgia starts slow, but they were up 10 points in that game at one point. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
I just feel like these are two teams that are pretty hard to get a read on.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree with that assessment. I just think for me, it boils down to what we were talking about earlier, kind of the opposing directions that these teams are going in. And I think I value that a lot right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the new format. Yeah. To get hot at the right time.
Yeah.
It's very favorable.
So is this another take the underdog to cover and then take the under kind of game, or what's the weather looking like? Anybody know that one?
Ooh, that's a good topic of discussion because that's been a talking point. I've seen people, Ohio State fans, talking about how it's going to be cold there and how Tennessee is going to struggle with that. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Knoxville in the wintertime. It's not warm.
It's breezy. Yeah.
It's right on the river, which
kickoff temp is looking like 27 degrees. Partly cloudy.
Yeah.
Which
it's
it's not that much. Come on.
It's not that cold.
You can't boast about a home field weather advantage and it'd be 27 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah, I need sub-zero temperatures. I need snow falling. I just don't think, if anybody's ever played football, I mean, yes, look, 26 degrees, that's cold. Once you get up and running around, you're fine. And those guys have coats on the sidelines and heaters.
Yep.
I genuinely don't think it's going to be that much of a factor. Tennessee, Knoxville, it gets cold there. Not as cold as Columbus, but it gets cold. So, yeah, I think it's going to be. I don't know if that'll play as much of a factor. I think I like Tennessee here, though.
Just to put it in perspective, game time on Saturday in Knoxville would be 35 and raining.
That's arguably worse. With the rain.
Arguably worse because
I mean, because
we're talking like what, an 8-degree difference, but like the rain, like
cold rain, like
cold rain.
almost sleet.
Yeah.
That would be nasty.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's one of those things. Like, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a factor.
No.
But again, would behoove you to take the under in a cold game like this. And I think both. I don't know. I think that Tennessee's defense has played well at times, even though they're more known for their offense. I think their defense has done well. I think when Tennessee is clicking, they are playing complementary football, which makes it a lot easier, obviously.
They just haven't put it all together. Like, they've had great stretches, like you said, Brandon. Went up 10-0 against Georgia in Athens.
Yeah.
Have not, and I would argue this about a lot of teams, have not put it all together for a 4-quarter stretch.
Georgia hasn't put it all together for a 4-quarter stretch.
That's why I said I argue it for a lot of teams. But a team like Tennessee, they're dangerous entering the playoff. And I'd argue the same about Georgia. We haven't seen them play their best football. Ohio State is reeling, and that's a dangerous position to be in. You just got embarrassed on your home field. So,
have we seen Ohio State's best game?
Marshall.
Because who is their best game? Is it losing by 1 at Oregon, or is it beating Penn State by possession?
It's probably Penn State, and that game was sloppy.
I would argue Penn State because it never felt like Ohio State was not in control of that game. There was one drive where I was like, okay, if Penn State can score here, the momentum will shift. But they intercepted Drew Allen in the end zone on one of the more ridiculous interceptions I've ever seen in my life. But
is that the one before halftime? I think I know.
Right, yeah, right before halftime. Because I think Penn State, if they could have scored there, they would have only been down. Maybe they were up, but then they would have gotten the ball to start the second half. And I'm like, oh, okay, if they can get a 2 for here, that'd be sick. But anyway, I digress. It'll be very interesting to see which version of Ohio State we're going to get. Are we going to get the high firepower, able to put up 55 Ohio State, or are we going to get we're going to run the ball 17 times, getting 4 yards a carry, and we're going to score 17 points, hopefully win by 3 Ohio State?
Yeah,
and same with Tennessee. Because that Arkansas game was ugly.
Yeah. I think the biggest player for me here is Nico Iamaleava, personally, because when I think about Tennessee's offense and underneath Heupel the past few years, they want to spread you out and they want to throw it downfield and they want to get up on the ball and do it now. Obviously, this season has been a bit more of a pivot. Nico not really putting up the same production as guys like Joe Milton or Hendon Hooker in that Tennessee offense, and they've been leaning more heavily on that running game, which, Dylan Sampson is a very good running back. So luckily they've been able to do that. I think if they can get Dylan Sampson going, and if Nico can play a game where I don't think he needs to win it for them, I just think he needs to not lose it for him. I think he needs to play a mistake-free game and maybe make a handful of good plays. Because if Nico can do it through the air, I like Tennessee a lot here. I just think for me at this point in the season with Ohio State, I'm not very confident in what they've shown. I think they have all the talent in the world. But Drew, like I said, like you were saying, I think this is the kind of game where they come out and ground and pound. 3 yards in a cloud of dust, put up maybe somewhere close to 20 points, and hope their defense can stick it out for them. That seems to be their identity this season, and I don't know if that's going to be enough.
So you don't think Will Howard's going to be much of a factor at all?
I mean, I think he's going to need to be if they're going to win the game. I haven't been overly impressed by him, but I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. When I first, coming into the season, Will Howard at Ohio State, I thought he was going to tear it up.
Yeah.
And it's just that offense. I feel like it's so weird the way that they utilize him. Obviously they have a very good running back room, so I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And
I just don't know. I just don't know about it, man.
Yeah, their offensive line has also been kind of piecemealed over the last month and a half, pretty much. So I don't. It'll be very interesting. I listen. I'm not in the press conference with Ryan Day and the offensive coordinator. I don't know if the offensive line will be healthy. Huh?
Chip Kelly is the OC.
Yeah, that's right. I knew that. I just didn't know that in the moment. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if their offensive line is going to be back to 100%. So I don't know, but I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more I love the underdogs on Saturday.
Oh, this is not good.
No, it's not good. It's not good at all.
They can't all cover, guys.
They can't. Mathematically speaking, statistics say they're not all gonna cover.
But I want to be right on one of them.
Yes, right. We have a better chance on being right on one of them. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your pick, Drew? What do you got? I want someone else to go first.
Okay, I'm going to explain my reasoning and just talk, and then I'll hopefully eventually point myself one way or the other. Okay, I hear what Brandon is saying about the trajectory of the programs. That is definitely a valid point where Tennessee is trending up. However, I don't think Tennessee is trending up in a way that Indiana is trending up. Indiana is skyrocketing. Now, to be fair, I do think that Tennessee's way of trending up is more sustainable for the long run. But I don't know if they're there yet. And Ohio State has plenty of experience in the playoff, albeit not winning playoff games all the time, but they know these primetime matchups, and they've had a few this year. Not to say that Tennessee hasn't. I mean, they hosted Alabama, they went to Athens, and they have these big matchups, but Ohio State went to Eugene, they lost by a point. They hosted Penn State, and they dominated the game. So I think I have to lean Ohio State here. I don't want to. I definitely don't want to, but I think you almost have to, which sucks.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah. It's definitely a prove it game. It's a prove it game, and it's hard.
Ryan Day is coaching for his job. If Chip Kelly turns into a bitch, take the playbook out of his hands.
It's now or never for real. And
genuinely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If it wasn't now or never, I think I would lean Tennessee. I just keep coming back to it. Like what we've talked about Dylan Sampson. Oh my gosh. They're going to be able to run the ball, which is going to open up everything else.
Yes.
Screw it. Give me Tennessee by field goal. Screw it.
Lord!
Screw it.
So what I'm hearing is Tennessee to cover. That's what I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
There you go. I've been decided on this. I've been decided. I'm taking the Vols. I can't. And look, with this season, how many upsets there's been, it's bound to happen. I haven't taken an underdog outright. I think this is the one. Honestly.
Okay, Bowie.
Okay. Hey, shout out
But
Film Stock, man.
Shout out
shout out
Film
Film
Stock.
Stock, yeah.
He called TCU beating Michigan a couple of years
He
ago.
did.
He
Yeah,
called it.
he did. That was a
Yeah.
great call.
He put American
He
currency on it.
he put sizable dinero on that.
He put,
Mhm.
So
he put a
Brandon,
few
are you going to do the
presidents on it.
same?
We'll see about that. If I were in Florida with Hard Rock, I might consider it, but we'll see. Anyways, I think this is my underdog pick straight up. Like I was saying before, if they get Dylan Sampson going, I think it's going to be a world. Excuse me, I can't talk.
Good.
Of trouble for Ohio State. So it's just kind of a gut feel here. I think these two teams are very close to each other in where they are this season. Obviously, yes, Ohio State on paper, they should win this game. And I think they very well could. But with where Tennessee is right now and Ohio State coming off of kind of a letdown spot, I don't know, man. Just something about the Vols here I like a lot. So I don't know if I have really any other good reasoning other than that. I feel like I've fleshed out my argument earlier, and I think I'll let that stand. But this is my underdog pick, and I would love it if it happens. I could see Ohio State winning, but I think this is obviously the most deserving game to be the nightcap of Saturday because
100%.
I think it'll be the best game. And these two fan bases even going against each other has been entertainment. It's been cinema. Just seeing the comment sections of the videos that we posted. There's no love lost on either fan base. So I will be interested to see how many Tennessee fans do show up to the game. I don't really feel like that plays too much of a factor. But we're going to see some orange there. I think Tennessee travels. I looked it up. It's only a little over 5 hours from Knoxville to Columbus.
Oh,
that's crazy.
So I think they're going to be traveling in numbers. Obviously, we were talking about earlier, the pre-sale code got leaked, so who knows what we'll see. I don't think they're going to check report it like Drew was saying. I think that would be hilarious if they did. I don't think they will. They won't have enough people probably, but there's going to be a sizable Tennessee presence there. I'm excited for this game no matter what. I'm leaning Vols here, definitely to cover, but I'm going to take them straight up.
Yeah, no one's gonna slight you for that. I do think that this. I don't know. I hope they're all fun games, but I think this one will probably take the cake. Like, there's a reason it's the night game.